everybody, and welcome back to
CK
CK Café. Cue the theme song, Rob. Thank you so much for tuning in, wherever you are, whether you're driving, whether you're watching at home,
Whether
on your
you're
phone.
in a bubble bath, whether you're
Bubble bath is
on a
interesting.
hike, whether you're at a cafe yourself.
Ooh.
Meta.
Thanks for joining CK Cafe. I'm Ethan. That's Rosie. And today we have a very special guest.
It is our dear friend and collaborator, Eddy Frumkin.
Eddy Frumkin. He is a film journalist, film critic. He is a personality,
creator.
New York City personality, content creator, icon in the indie film community in New York, and also the host of a show called Making Movies Today. It is a social media show. It's a really special thing that we at CK get to be a part of. We produce the show. We're so happy to produce it alongside the show's creator, Will Duncan, and Eddy Frumkin.
In this episode, we have a really fun conversation with Eddy about how he got into film, his passions, his hopes, his dreams, and we hope you enjoy it. I think it's a really cool combo.
We hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoy my shirt.
This is the ticket to happiness. His
Movie
shirt
theaters,
says.
AMC, baby.
We love AMC merch.
We love a good movie theater merch.
Yeah. Anyway, we hope you enjoy this episode.
Hello, everyone. How you doing? Welcome back to CK Cafe. I'm here as always with Miss Rosie Dean.
Hello.
And we are joined by the one, the only, the New York City icon, Eddy Frumkin.
Yeah. What's up, Rosie and Ethan?
Hello. Thanks for being here.
Eddy, you are a gem of a human being that we're so happy to be working with. We obviously work together with the Making Movies Today show on social media, which we'll dive into. But I think a lot of people who are watching this right now or listening know who Eddy Frumkin is, or who has seen Eddy Frumkin online in some capacity.
Yeah.
But I want them to learn a little more about you. So tell them about who you are, where you come from, and how you got into working in the industry.
Wow. There's so many entry points for me to get into the industry. But also, you might have even heard me too at your local movie theater comedy show too.
That's true. Sometimes you don't see him online, but you just hear him about. So
Yeah.
it's very true.
You can hear that from a mile away.
Yeah, it's the best. Yeah, there it is. So tell us about you, Eddy.
I grew up in the North Chicago suburbs of Vernon Hills, which is like an hour north of Edison Hospital, like the city that Northwestern University is located at. And I've always wanted to do anything movie-wise. I don't know if it was like making movies or even just like covering movies as a journalist, whether that's like the traditional freelance criticism for outlets or the new media way, like with what I do at Making Movies Today. But I always knew that the movies were a great outlet for me to learn about people, especially as someone who is on the spectrum, where I learn more about people and observe them through movies, or like how people think about interacting with people before I realized, oh, there's a director and writer and all the other people that make movies. And then just kept enjoying more movies, starting out with Disney, Nickelodeon, and PBS Kids before going to like the Warner Brothers, going to other indie studios and like film festival movies. That's like more when I moved to New York and end of college. But I could talk about my other journeys in film going later on.
Yeah. Well, it's amazing. I mean, you have such a beautiful story, because I think, you are the type of person who I think can go and make a movie, but also you are a journalist who appreciates movies. And I think that's something that's a different lens than most of the people we have on the show, but also most of the people that I know who work in the industry are not journalists, So you see films, I think, from such a unique point of view because of that. I'd love to hear about how you got into journalism and specifically film journalism, like talking about movies online.
Yeah, well, to begin with film journalism, I started doing like a few reviews for like my friends, like thing which didn't get wide exposure, but was a good practice. As I know, I wrote about Fahrenheit 9/11, which I gave like 2 out of 4 stars. But like that was like before I knew about politics and shit like that. But then I also remember writing about Goodbye to Language just for myself, you know. And then when I was at University of Missouri, where I graduated from in 2021, and the person who was in charge of the documentary journalism program, which was like relatively young, like I was like the 5th class. Now it's like 10 years strong. Like before, like a lot of like documentary people have been backing that up in a wider level than it was when I was a student. And the then head of the documentary journalism program, Stacy Wolfel, shout out to him. He literally like taught me about documentaries as a form of journalism, or that this was a specialty that I could like graduate from at Mizzou, like not doing the traditional writing. Well, everyone has to write at some capacity and do the required courses, but with documentary journalism, it opened my ways of seeing movies. It taught me about how documentary is not just education inherently, and there is something artistic to express day-to-day lives that you can't necessarily script it out.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the documentary mode because I don't want to really hire actors, you know, just only film was like available, or just speak with friends if they are just down to share their vulnerabilities and idiosyncrasies and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that's why I gravitated to documentary journalism. And then with me and film criticism, well, I've haven't talked too much. I used to have a blog like when I first moved here, Real Print, REEL Print, but it was just too much for me to handle. And then like after getting rejected for certain major festivals, like I was told from people, you have to freelance for other places, and which was a little harder first before getting my first ones at Film Stage, Broken Rail, Bomb, and then soon other major outlets along the way, which did help me to get those same fests that rejected me. So I just hate that you need to have some form of sponsorship that people will know and have these other connections to help out. Like, sadly, we don't live in an affect world. We live in analytics, numbers, data, and shit like that.
Yeah. So right. You're so right. I think it's amazing though to see your journey, because I mean, I think a lot of creatives, we get so bogged down on the idea. It's like, no, but I'm building something and I want everyone to pay attention to me. And like the fact that you say, you know what, no, I want to be a journalist. I want to be a documentarian. I want to be a filmmaker. I'm going to go and do it myself. And if I can't make it happen, I'll find the way in. And you have found the way in, my friend. You have done some pretty great stuff. I mean, some of the articles written for IndieWire, for some pretty great publications here. So, I mean, what's that like in comparison to like making, you know, your own blog and like doing that kind of stuff? How does that differ?
I think I write the same regardless who I write for. Like, I just want to ensure that there's a good lead, a good intro to these interview conversations, and always making sure that I don't repeat myself with other journalists, because there's always going to be the same what inspired you or the same influences type question. Like, you need to think differently how these movies connect with others, and that, of course, because of like the totem pole thing, had to start out with more art housey international docs before, if there's ever a way for me to like write about major movies in the major level before. And soon I was able to get on press lists. I don't get to go to the big major New York premieres that some people think that I do. Like, it's still a hustle to get that shit out the fucking door, you know?
Yeah.
We know about your hustle, man. We know about your hustle.
No days off for Eddy Frumkin. You are such a hard worker, and it's paying off. It's paying off.
And it's paying off through, I think, a little show that hopefully our audience who's watching and listening knows, called Making Movies Today. right? It's sort of what's interesting is like, I think you have found your way to making movies today by all of your journey, right? Like you had to go through everything you've gone through and struggling to find freelance gigs and whatever, and having to freelance to get to this point.
And like developing those skills of
Yeah.
like, okay, this is how I reach out. This is like the right person to reach out to. Like that's all stuff you figure out from like years of trial and error and like, you know, yeah, it's just all led, I feel like, to a really cool point where now people are starting to be like, I need to be interviewed by Eddy Frumkin.
Eddy Frumkin, yeah.
It's so cool.
People get excited, you know. So just to give the audience some background, let everyone know what making movies today is.
Making movies today is a high energetic, more comedic side of showing the laborious side of making movies today. And I do want to clear that I did not start making movies
He did not start making movies today. Everyone thinks that. Everyone's like, oh, Eddy, the thing you started is so cool. And you're like, I didn't start it. Yeah.
It was like, as we said a lot, it's like people know who I was or like know all about me, as it was started by Brooklyn comedian Will Duncan.
Yeah, shout out Will.
You can see him in the short films Shithead and Stairs and other amazing hits on No Budge, as he recognized my knowledge within the film scene in New York City, and that when he did a test version of making movies today at Sundance with the director of Stairs, Riley Dongan, that he acted in, and then Will was like, how can I expand that further in New York? And he wanted to be a guest instead of like an actual host, you know. And then who do I know about movies?
And who could be fun and funny?
Yeah, and rest is history. And I really love that. I really love to be on some comedy shows here and there, but it's a different environment with doing it live versus like my own platform with making movies today, because like you can edit stuff, you know, or have music, you know, that you could like put on and post, whereas it's not the same the live format, you know, and like I don't have to worry about waiting for the audience to respond, you know. That's what the likes and the comments are for.
Yeah. Exactly.
And then like it's eventually I will love to be on some live shows, so that there's so much more about making movies today we can talk later about that, like I would love to do live versions of, you know.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like it's just a good platform for me to experiment my comedic side, you know, and like and then how it's always remarkable and a little funny, like after each major event, like who I got on or do have them be a guest on my little show.
I know, and that's I think the funniest part about it. How it's like it started off. Well, you know, let's actually before I dive into the guests that we have, you know, how we got involved in making movies today is pretty funny, because we had met you at a festival that Rosie was a judge at, and when we met you, we immediately knew, like, this guy's special. He's so much fun. He's so cool. And I think we followed you online, and then we saw everything you were doing, and I fell in love with everything you were posting. I thought it was just so funny. And then you start posting, I think the post was like that you were the head of proxy something.
Yeah,
right?
head of Proxys. Yeah, shout out to Will Duncan for the caption.
It's just it was such a funny thing, and it was like your headshot, but it was also like not a full resolution version of your headshot. It was all so funny, and I said immediately I showed Rosie the page, and I said I know exactly what this page is gonna be. It's gonna be so funny. And then you guys posted the first few videos with you in it. I loved it so much. I hit up the page, I thought it was you. I didn't know. I was like, oh, it's gonna be Eddy, and then it ended up being Will. And I spoke with Will, who's amazing, as you said, wonderful actor, wonderful comedian. And you know, Rosie and I ended up getting involved, and now our company CK, we're producing the show alongside you and Will, and it has been a joy, truly, to be there with you. And you and I have had many days on set together. And Rosie has come through as an editor of the show, has come through tons of footage.
Yeah, and I've been
Eddy
there for
Frumkin.
some of the events
And you've been
too,
there.
and it's such a fun experience.
It's unlike anything.
Start
it's so
to
weird
finish.
to call it on set, because like I feel like some of it is documentary in a way, because like I know that I can't script everything out with the interviews, or like at certain like events or red carpets, and I try to get the publicists to do specific group settings, like it can never work because of very limited time, and also that I need to be conscious about how many questions that I get to speak to certain major people, but it's just so delirious, and also the major places and spaces we've get onto, like the more subtle mental ableism I'll encounter, because like how do I carry that same loud magneticism like that I could do at like a Vimeo staff picks screening outside,
or like a small indie screening where like you could be your full self, right?
Like literally before a Tribeca red carpet, they noticed us in the previous red carpets. They literally tell us to not be loud, but then we were next to like Film Bro video podcasters, and they were louder than us.
Oh my god, it was insane. Like they literally came up to Eddie and I. We're setting up in a hallway because they didn't, we didn't have a place to set up. We're in a tiny little hallway. We're just taking out our phone and our sound devices and everything. We're just setting up on top of backpacks. And then, Eddie's bag ripped. And then we were like, oh, my gosh, what are we doing? We're kind of like a little mess in the corner. Yeah. And then we finally get ready. And then, then people tell us, like, this lady who was running it, she was like, you guys are, like, normally, like, really loud. So just, you're going to need it. And I was like, oh, my God. And first off, flattered that she knew who we were, right? I was like,
she did a research.
I don't take it personally.
Yeah, that was the exciting part. Yeah, we didn't take it personally. But this kind of goes into like the events and like how sort of how the structure of the show has grown, right? I think initially when we were trying to find the footing, it was you talking to people and just independent filmmakers and whoever we could talk to, right? And then I think now it's kind of grown into this like bigger and bigger thing where, you are doing, as Rosie alluded to, grinding nonstop, reaching out to publicity teams and festivals and large distribution companies. And, our whole team is sort of actively pursuing these red carpet interviews. And it's become sort of a new format for the show, to be on a red carpet talking to not just your indie filmmaker who we always want to prioritize, but also people like Chris Maloney. And you know what I mean? Like, it's just so funny to see. And like Kiki Palmer, like walking past, it's just so funny to see who we're talking to and where the show has gone. And every now and then you and I will look at each other or whoever's on set, would just be like, what are we doing? How did this happen? How are we here right now? It's just so funny.
I do think you have a good balance, though, of the funny in those, fancier settings or whatever, the galas and the Emmys and things. Like you find that balance really well of still being able to be funny, but it's more of an internal funny, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's you just being like, I don't know, like, not like awkward's not the word, but just like like charming, and I guess not like shy, but like you don't hide how excited you are to be talking to the person. You know what I mean?
I know.
And that like shows, and then that like it seems so like genuine, and there's a humor to it. But I think it works so well.
And it's also like the Nardwarification of film, right? Like Nardwar is so synonymous to music, and you are becoming like that kind of figure, and you even got the hat to match. But like you're becoming that kind of figure because what you're doing is like, you're not just like an excited guy. You're not just an influencer. You're not just like a social media person who's being thrown on the carpet to interview people. You know everything about film. The story that I want to tell our audience is like when Rosie and I had gone with you to the Emmys. It's the documentary Emmys, okay? I love documentaries, so does Rosie. I don't know, like I think a lot of people, all the people who are behind the scenes of the documentaries, and somehow you know everybody, not just what they look like, but the credits that they've done, and that is like a certain level of film knowledge that I don't know that the audience knows all the way. Like I think they know that you're a funny guy, they know that you're energetic, but you also like ball, you know what I mean? Like you really understand film and understand the people who are making the movies today. Like what I did there.
Hey.
No, it's so perfect.
I know. I love seeing that as not just talking about the show, but also just saying as many sentences as possible, like getting those movies made today, like in one of the Tribeca videos.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
There was one that it didn't make the cut in one of our first videos that we did because it was just too long. There were too many funny moments, but it was like, I don't know, like somebody didn't want to be interviewed or something, and you're just standing there and you go, well, we're just gonna keep making those movies.
Yes,
so
I did
cute.
say that. Code 100. Guys.
Yes,
Oh
yes.
my god, like it's just like all these spaces that we go to, like there's always some direct connection personally, but like despite that direct connection, when they are an editor of culture, like that PR team handling that column, they would not get us into the Guggenheim Museum.
It was insane, and that's the funny part about it. That I think we're learning very quickly by doing all these red carpets, especially the larger ones. It's like you could stand right here, but you can't even go right there because that part is reserved for XYZ. And it's been insane. But you find a way, no matter what, not only to get people to stop, but I think also to get people to like want to be interviewed by you. And I think that's really exciting. And I think it's just going to grow, dude. Like that, I think is the exciting part. We have a great team with Tatum, our editor, Rosie editing and also producing, you know, our Will and you and like everybody else who helps out along the way. We have a wonderful team of people behind it. We have a wonderful, hardworking host and person who cares to interview these people. I know this is going to grow, and it's going to be a really wonderful, huge show, man. I'm really pumped for you, because you're really a star.
Oh, I'm pumped for both of you for accepting or expressing your admiration for us to be involved, because like I knew that the Making Movies Today would be at some point like be a higher team effort than just me and Will, and then you two and everyone at CK for taking the plate off our shoulders. Like there's just.
It's a lot of work. People don't realize how much work goes into these videos. All of them. It's a lot.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we did experiment some of the lower screens with like more hi-fi filters, but I feel like that we don't need that for anyone in the future, you know, because there's that same style that we have, and also figure out analytics like, oh, people love HD 4K resolution versus the lo-fi filters.
Oh yeah, it's been really fun to kind of feel like out what people like, and that's I think something so cool about, you know, us joining so early in Making Movies Today's journey, like finding out, okay, what is responding well to audiences, but also what is the best format to interview people, because you're asking, again, really thoughtful questions, especially like at the Emmys, right? Like there was some really powerful things being said. We couldn't just make jokes. You had to like actually ask real questions.
I know, like
know?
It's just that it was such a serious environment, because like the documentarians are literally being advocates of several social issues, and like I wasn't there to like make light of it, but like how do we address it as a platform, because with the name Making Movies Today, it could have a Amy interpretation. Like there's some that's like a little silly, some that's real serious, and like not two people back to back, there won't be that many odds of like them saying the exact same thing, especially like when we do the bigger group settings. Like I can only ask them in one word, you know?
Yeah.
And not everyone will get to say the same word, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild to see.
Yeah.
But I love Rosie and I talk about it often, about like the name Making Movies Today, but also the question that you ask. What does it mean to be making movies today? I think that's such it kind of, I know for Will and, you know, even for us and for you, like it's funny. There's like a funniness to the page being called Making Movies Today, but also it's such a poignant question, because it is and some people have really thoughtful answers. Like right? Like it's pretty insane to see. Like Lily Wachowski had a wonderful, wonderful answer about just, you know, feeling that it's her duty to make movies and she needs to stand up for trans women. And it's like, wow, what a beautiful answer. Then you get people saying Making Movies Today is better than sex. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, it could be either the
or smaller
wide
and
range.
smaller paycheck.
Yeah. There's like so many different ways to answer that question, and it becomes so, you know, so all consuming for what the show is, right? It's about making movies today. So what is that, you know, it's two questions for you here. It's like, what does it mean to you that people are responding so well to these questions? How does that feel? And also to you, what does it mean to be making movies today?
I'll start off with myself. What does it mean to be making movies today? I think making movies today is just a hustle. It's just an accomplishment that you get to make a movie, not like a real narrative or a documentary. Even like those red carpets or these promo videos, like those are movies themselves. People don't realize that there's still a team effort, a producer, like I'm not just hosting, I'm also doing associate producing or a more than
You're
associate
doing
producing.
you're producing this show too, my friend. Yes.
I know, like with all these email requests and just always doing those good follow-ups when possible. Like I'm just thankful for the publicists, for like the ones. Well, I knew that with people who I know directly who worked on She Keeps Me Young, Human Theories, Mother Future Self, and Grandmasters. Like those 4 films would definitely get me into those red cards. And then there were other films like the Questlove documentary Earth, Wind and Fire, which like I knew Tribeca would not say no to, or like the Gotham TV Awards, they will not say no.
Yeah.
But then
hard.
like there were like others that like I knew the directors like on a somewhat close level, but like their PR team, they don't give a shit about my connection with them directly.
Yeah.
Like they really care about numbers. They don't want to experiment or develop new voices in that way. They're like, oh, it's a hit or no hit, and we need to get that K in our follower count.
Yeah, we need to hit that
follow.
10K. Follow.
At making
Underscore movies underscore
today.
today.
There are
Yes.
so many movies we made today, and we need to have fucking underscores in our handle.
Yeah.
That's so
Yes,
true.
yes. But no, I love what you said there though. Like every movie, every piece of media that's being created today, it's its own movie. Everything is its own ecosystem, and I think that's such good advice. Genuinely, I think it's such good advice for independent filmmakers to remember that like it does not matter what you shoot this thing on. It does not matter what you're shooting. Like if you're just out there shooting, you're making a movie. You know what I mean? You are making a movie, and I think that's a special thing. So.
And now I want to answer about how people respond to it.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Wow, it's been wonderful. Like I know that when I did the test versions with Will at Perfectly Imperfect and Vimeo, like the ones that people know me directly would understand it better. But then when I send it now with publicists, with like the Bound 30th anniversary and other Tribeca vids and the Emmys, like people understand, oh, there's a place for me to be in these red carpets. Like it's always about how do we get that first red carpet, because like I assume that because we did the style, like they could see how I can apply on the press line. No, they rather just like the team at Culture 100's Culture Magazine Call 100 Gala, they would place us outside, like because my loud energy is instead of me, oh, I can adapt to it, just give me a heads up, and that I'll comply with your orders.
Yeah, we'll keep it internal. We'll be internal funny.
We got
this
it.
Time.
Yeah, we got it.
I will say though, I think I edited that video at the Cult 100 Gala, and I think being outside was such a blessing in disguise because it was so funny. The like central theme of you being in between all of the action that was going on, you guys being in the background of all the paparazzi shots, like that wouldn't have happened if you were in there with everyone else. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely not.
Like it was just like such a joy.
A gem. Yeah, there's a picture of Naomi Watts and Eddie in the background, just like, and it's my favorite thing. I want to grab all of those paparazzi photos and hang them here in the office because it's just so funny.
I think
the way that it just,
we should. Great. I think anytime anything like that happens with making movies today, I think we have no choice but to like make it part of the charm.
Yeah.
And like we were saying, like when you're like wearing your fancy shoes and carrying your gym shoes, like things like that are just like, oh, this would be weird out of context. But in the context of making movies today, like it's all silly and charming and fun, and I just think that that's what I think is most exciting about the show to me.
Mm-hmm. And I do want to point out, making movies today, we do give a spotlight on all the labor side on making movies today, and even like the red carpets. You think that it's big on getting images themselves. Like, no, like seeing like 35 people in that tiny ass space,
tiny little room,
like for Human Theories as well as She Keeps You Young, with like the many cast and crew members for both movies. I was like, oh my god, how do they even fit in? Like how they arrange it, and then seeing the red carpets and its spots, like being thankful, okay, I get to be on it, and then like with the Bound 30th anniversary, like you think that there'll be a lot more space because we're inside versus outside. No, there's not enough space inside. Like Tribeca closed some of the floor, like they could have expanded, and then like Ethan had to collaborate with all the other media to like take turns with be on the red carpet, like
yeah, it was insane. Like literally, we had to.
So you'd like swap.
No, because
out?
I think and what you're saying is like it's the smoke and mirrors of red carpets. Like people just assume, oh, red carpet, you get all the photos. You're right, and that's what I thought too.
And meanwhile, you have like all the A-listers like waiting in line, like with their name
just
on
waiting
a card.
in line.
Like it's
I mean,
so
even
wild.
at Culture 100 to watch all these people, some of the biggest celebrities in the world, still waited behind a little barricade on a line. Like, yeah, and there was a person with a dry erase board saying, okay, this is who this person is. It was insane. It was insane to witness. But at some of these smaller events, even at large festivals, but smaller screenings, some of these rooms, it's insane. And at Bound 30th Anniversary, which obviously Bound is a classic indie movie, huge name actors in the movie, legacy film, and
tiny.
It was so not only small, like Eddy said, we had to collaborate with every single person that was on the carpet and basically say, okay, you interview this person, and then because you only have a limited time with every single person, when that person's ready to be interviewed, they'll walk behind you, and then we'll sneak in here and interview them, and then we'll tell them to go to you, and then you go to them, and there's no one coordinating that. Like there is a coordinator, there's someone on there, but at some point it just becomes madness. And then it's like everyone trying to fight. Like literally, Eddy's there, and they'll just sneak right in front of Eddy and be like, can we just get you real quick for an interview? And at some point, Eddy and I just had to be like, no, we're not letting anyone take our space. And it was insane. It was it was crazy.
Everyone needs to get that type of coverage out there. But we all know that I cannot spend all evening, just be like, two fast ones about the residents of Bound or what's it like to be making Bound.
Yeah, we had to be so quick with it. We could only ask a few questions. But I think what I do commend all these outlets for is like everyone was willing to collaborate, and it was never like no one was ever mean or anything. It was just like
I didn't anticipate that. It's just that because we all want the same goal. Like I thought that there would be people like, no thanks. I'd rather just make sure I get my share
thing.
of the piece,
Yeah.
And I'm sure that exists out there. Yeah, I'm sure that there are people like that.
I could expect more hostile cities, to have that us versus them mentality.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this has been so fun. It's so fun talking to you, Eddy, and talking about everything making movies today. I have one question I really want to ask.
Too.
So okay, before we wrap,
we each have a question for you, but
before we wrap,
I'm here all day.
Okay, good, yeah. So, okay, my question, Eddy, and I hope it's not your question.
Well, if it is, then great.
But, Eddy, who is your dream guest to interview? If you could interview one person who is active right now making movies, who is that one person you would love to sit down and talk to?
Wow. I'm still puzzled by this. Wow. One dream guest. Holy shit. No, I didn't think of it coming in here. Oh my god.
I know. I threw a curveball there.
The gorgeous part about this is that it is not live, and you can take as much time as you need to think about it.
But while you think about it, Rosie, you're part of the show. Who's your dream guest for Eddy to interview?
For Eddy to interview?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Who would you love?
Oh, now let me think. I'm still puzzled by this too.
Oh no.
And then we'll just race whoever thinks of it first.
Okay, Ethan.
Ethan, who's yours?
Is your okay, my dream guest, I would love to see Eddy talk to a huge name director. And I think I'm talking like a Spielberg or a Nolan or Tarantino, Greta Gerwig. Like I would love for you to sit down with a big director and just have a conversation. But there's one in mind that a director that I love. But I think Rosie's going to say too, so I'll let Rosie say it. No? Okay, Daniel Rower.
Tuner.
Tuner. He directed Tuner. He's Navalny. He's a wonderful director. He's a wonderful guy. I've worked with him before, and I just think you and Daniel Rower together in a room, that's my dream. So there's my dream guest.
I love that. I thought of mine.
Who's yours?
I want us to get Keke Palmer to stop next time.
Oh,
yes. We need to get her to stop.
I think Eddy and Keke Palmer, I think you guys would just have the best conversation.
Oh, thanks. I think, like, my dream guest, Like, I want to have like a couple, like I'll say the one Amy setting would be Spike Lee.
Oh,
he's like a king, one of the kings of New York, and then the other king, Martin Scorsese. Oh my God! Like I've been in the same rooms as both of them, just only for like Spike's photo book that he did like
sure.
3 years ago, and Scorsese with him and Jafar Panahi at New York Film Festival. Oh my God, that was like a special day, but like just because of how serious that room was with Jafar and Scorsese, I could not yell, "You go, Marty! You go, Jafar! Yeah! Woo!" It was such a serious vibe that I
Right,
could not,
right.
that especially like when I saw like the main heads at the Neon, Scorsese's production company Sequoia, and Film Lincoln Center New York Film Festival. Like that was not the time to do that.
Not the
Dude,
time.
if I heard
only
you,
Yeah.
if I heard you in a room with Martin Scorsese go, "Yeah, Marty," that would be the funniest thing in the. I would pay money to see you yell,
I was
"Yeah,
able to do
Marty."
that to Maury Povich.
That's
You
great.
go,
That's.
Maury!
I actually saw that video. That shit was so funny, bro. That was so
So
funny.
funny.
So that's great. Those are great answers, though. Spike and Marty.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So Spike, Marty, Daniel Rower, Kiki Palmer, hit us up. Make movies
Please.
today, please,
Yeah,
please,
come
please.
on, Spike, Marty, Kiki, and Daniel, either directly or through your PR teams, please reach out to us. Like
That
we
would
know
be a
it'll good
dream.
time.
Our first Making Movies Today roundtable.
Oh my God.
And that's the lineup.
Oh my God, that's a good drink blunt rotation.
Dream Blood
It really is.
rotation.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome. What was your question?
My
Miss? I know
question.
you had another question.
Your question was better than my question. I
But
I
figured.
can
okay.
still answer it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
My question is, I know you developed a love for movies at a young age, but was there a specific movie or filmmaker that you discovered that really clicked with you and made you realize, like, oh, I love film?
Oh yeah, definitely Spielberg with
Oh.
Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Yeah.
and then seeing Schindler's List behind my mom's back because she did not want me to see like anything Holocaust-wise when I was that young. Like, I think seeing it at 16 or 17 in high school, I think that's okay. Like, I'm near the R-rated age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Suggestion, not a requirement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like definitely Spielberg did make me think about movies with Jurassic Park, about how he does those wonders. Catch Me If You Can.
Yeah.
Oh
Oh my gosh, there's so many movies. Spielberg is just one of those directors that is a master. Like, there's nobody who can do what Spielberg does. I don't think there's a single director who can make a movie feel so wondrous and mystical and magical like Steven Spielberg.
I
There's
feel like that
nothing.
even before certain film genres became parodied, like with the sci-fi and disaster movies, I feel like that when you know that Spielberg is handling a movie like Disclosure Day, oh, we all know it won't be that typical disaster movie that Roland Emmerich will make, Not
Sure.
to like throw Roland under the bus, but like we do know the type of disaster movies
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Roland makes, which like it's a different brand, different
different
audience, but like we all know like the historical inaccuracies that comes with Roland's movies. So yeah, like I don't mean to like shit talk one form of disaster movies over another, but there's just a different mindset and expectations when Spielberg is at the helm versus
Someone
the
else,
disaster
anybody
king,
else.
Roland Emmerich.
No, anybody
Yeah.
else. Anybody else. Spielberg just has a way of doing it. I love that answer though. Spielberg is he's one of
That's
my
a
answers.
gorgeous
too.
answer.
Yeah.
Throw him into the round
Throw him
table.
into the dream
blunt
blunt
rotation.
blunt
Spielberg.
rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Spielberg's PR team, please.
Hit
and
us
also
up.
Seth Rogen, like especially with curly hair. Like I was
Yeah.
able to speak to Seth outside of Fableman's New York, like screening
Oh,
MoMA
cool.
4 years ago, where I literally said to him, "Yo, some people say we're celebrity looks like," and he was like,
That's so funny. You and Seth should do a
Triplets.
triplets
Yeah.
thing.
Oh,
Even though I don't
yeah,
think I
like-
look like Seth.
Yeah,
but
at Tribeca.
I do think I look like Eddie.
Ethan and I, several people at Tribeca,
Think
and
we're
other
brothers.
places think that we're brothers.
We're brothers now, my friend.
Yeah.
We're twins.
Aw.
We're twins. Yeah.
Should we all say yeah?
That was good. Yeah, we'll have a Seth Rogen
Yeah.
lookalike kind of. We should
That
have
would
it.
be like the final lookalike contest to end all lookalike contests. It's
We
like
should
Game of
have
Thrones.
an Eddy Frumkin lookalike contest.
And invite your twin, but he doesn't win.
yeah, that's
Oh,
so
that
funny.
rhymes.
That's so
Invite your
funny.
twin, but he
doesn't
doesn't
win.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh,
so funny, right?
That's great. That is
Ethan
hysterical.
wins.
I win the Eddy Frumkin lookalike contest. That's so great. Well, Eddy, thank you so much for hopping on our show, for being on CK Cafe. We really
Thank
appreciate
you.
it. We're so excited for everything that we're doing together. So excited for everything else that you have planned, all of the movies that you are going to make, whether it's on social media or beyond. We know you have a lot coming up. So let the audience know where they can follow you, where they can follow the show, everything.
Yeah, follow Eddy Frumkin, Instagram, @ Eddy Frumkin, EDDYFRUMPKIN, and also Making Movies Today on Instagram @ making MAKING _MOVIES _TODAY.
Wonderful spelling. That was great. I would have messed it up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I know some people think there's an IE in my name, but
Yeah.
it's not the case.
It's not the case. It's with
Nope.
a Y. Also, your name, to dispel any
there's
rumors.
no P in
There's
my
no
last
P
name.
in his
it's
last
just
name.
Historically misspelled. Like I know auto captions misspelled as from Con. I get from Ken.
Really?
Yeah.
And online, you make it very clear on your Instagram that it's not with the P. It's FRUMKIN, but people still call you Frumpkin with the P.
I
there.
know. Like
Yeah.
there are some people like Mr. Subway Takes who loves to spell my last name with a P, and he loves calling me by my last name, Frumkin. What up, Frumkin versus Eddy? Like
Yeah.
and when he
Frumpkin is an
sends me on
amazing last name.
That's true. And when he sends me those Love You Frumpkins on Instagram, I know that's him. It's not his PR team, because like it was his social media person. It'll be Edward or Eddy. EDDY.
Yeah, excellent work, Edward.
Yeah. No, people love you, man, and people are noticing, whether it's Kareem at Subway Takes, whether it's anybody else on social media, but even beyond. It's starting to spread, and I'm so proud of you, and we're so proud to work with you and honored to work with you.
Truly.
We love you, Eddy.
I
And
love
thank you.
Ethan.
Thank you for hopping on.
Rosie.
Love you.
Let's. We should hit one quick yeah all together, including you, Annabella, behind the camera. 3, 2, 1. Yeah! Thank you so much for watching and listening to CK Cafe. Thank you so much to Eddy Frumkin for hopping on the show. We really appreciate it. Making Movies Today is out now and out with new episodes every single week, multiple episodes a week.
Yeah, and we have
lots
a
of good stuff.
lot of fun stuff lined up.
Yes.
And a lot of really exciting ideas about how the show can expand, different formats, content of different lengths. So stay tuned. Make sure you follow Making Movies Today on Instagram, because it's really fun. And if you're a strong supporter of independent art, independent cinema, this is a show that you want to stay tapped into just to stay in the know, if not also to have a good time. So yes, thank you so much to Eddy for joining us. I'm Rosie. That's Ethan. And
Follow CK Productions.
There's
on
that.
all social media platforms at
Yep.
CK Productions NY, on Instagram, on Threads. I think we're on TikTok now. We're everywhere. CK Productions. You can find us and all the stuff we're doing. We got a lot of events that are happening all throughout the year, so make sure you check us out. And a lot more movies, a lot more theater, a lot more audio-based projects. So much going on. Check us out on Substack as well.
And stay creative, kids.
Woo!
Boop, 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 boop.
Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. See you soon.